Good evening. My name is Kirsten Hargis, and this is my presentation on the gender data gap. Did you know that in the United States, females have a 17% higher chance of being subject to a lethal car accident? This is only one of many safety gaps due to lack of research and testing for both sexes. My thesis is the following. The gender data gap within the research community endangers the well being and quality of life of everyone by neglecting to recognize sex differences in safety and health studies. Systemic sexism worldwide has drastically improved in recent decades. For example, in most countries, women can take political seats, have a career for own choice, own property, and even vote in their national elections. However, there are still improvements to be made. Females are excluded from minor comforts like room temperature or shelf heights, but also from major medical research and vehicular safety regulations. This is not an examination of sexism, but one of underlying unintentional and subconscious biases regarding either sex that cause major gaps in data, influencing everyone's quality of life. The gap placed between the sexes causes the lack of information that is pertinent to health and safety. Now, females are not just smaller versions of males. They're put together differently. Their material properties, their structure is different. This quote perfectly describes the reason why our current system doesn't work. When medical studies use males for their subject groups, they assume the information can also be identically applied to women, but this is completely untrue. Even in mouse studies before human testing begins, only male mice are utilized for the same reason that human females are excluded. The main reasons women are excluded are hormone differences, female menstruation, and muscle and fat distribution differences. The difference between estrogen and testosterone affects how drugs are metabolized and the mental and physical health of the person. Menstruation creates a gap in time where one must either pause the study or continue with alterations to eliminate variables caused by hormone alterations and iron deficiencies. Muscle and fat distribution also affect how well medication works because of the density and distribution changes. Now, the differences in sex require differences in treatment. When diagnosing and treating a patient, doctors must acknowledge that female and male cells react differently and therefore must caution themselves when prescribing medication. Drug metabolization is dependent on the sex of cells breaking them down, and symptom identification is also dependent on sex, as males and females may display different symptoms. For example, we are told that if you experience chest pain, to call a doctor as you may be having a heart attack. However, for most females, the primary symptom is jaw pain, not chest pain. Now, this gap is also prevalent in vehicular safety. As stated before, when females have a 17% higher chance of being killed in a car accident. This is because vehicle safety regulations only require for a male dummy called ES2RE to be tested in the driver's seat. A female dummy, 9SID11S, is optional and yet is nearly a smaller version of the male dummy. The percentiles represented in these dummies shows misrepresentation for the females, where the male dummy represents the 50th percentile, meaning out of 100 men, 50 are larger and 50 are smaller. The female dummy only represents the 5th percentile, which means that 95% of women are larger than it. Not to mention, both dummies contain a male spinal cord with male muscle and fat distributions. Other vehicle features, such as the seatbelt or GPS, are also male oriented. The seatbelt is in the perfect location to properly fit the average male height. However, females using it are in danger. In the case of Nissan Motor Company Ltd vs. Maddox, in 2013, a woman and her husband were in an accident. The man who received more damage on his side of the vehicle sustained less injuries than those of his wife because of the fact that the seatbelt spooled out an extra 9 inches, causing her to submarine, which is sliding underneath the seatbelt, which is common for women in accidents and contributes to their injuries. The court decided that Nissan was at fault because they tested only to pass safety requirements and neglected to make consumers aware that the dummies used were not completely representative. Now, these gaps in research cause health and safety concerns for women and need to be solved. Vehicle regulations must require an anatomically correct female dummy to be tested and for medical studies to test both sexes and separate the results. The longer we allow this neglect to continue, the more danger females will be placed in as technology advances. I will be linking my thesis paper down below, so if you'd like to learn more, please feel free to read it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please put them in the comments section and I'll do my best to respond to them. Please also check out my other three videos regarding this gender data gap in order to learn more. Thank you.